You know, we've had conversations before about children and their upbringing and how they're giving us a hard time. So I thought today we should have a conversation on the common mistakes we as parents make while we are bringing up these wonderful children of mine. So nsanyusa balaba kachai oba mwina kakalunze nina mata. But yeah, let's just dig into it. Some of the mistakes that common mistakes that parents make while they're raising their children, like we the parents.
I think for me, my experience, my mistakes has been quality time with my children. I find myself distracted a lot with things like social media. So sometimes my daughter has told me once or twice, "Mommy, when I speak to you, you go like, and you're on your phone," and she's right.
Okay.
So you're not giving them the attention, you're not spending the time. You know, the time when they're at school is a lot more than the time they're at home before they sleep. So I find that the quality time we're giving our children has reduced.
And that would you say that it's most of the parents around you, your friends? Do you see that a lot?
Yes, because everyone is so interested in these social media things that I think are distracting me. So, and I know most of my friends are actually into social media. So you find that the time they spend with their children, and yet the time they spend at school is so long. That little time that they come back from school before they rest and stuff, we should have that moment with them and just sit with them, find out how their day was. Sometimes we miss out on that, and that's a big mistake because you end up hearing things that they're sharing with their friends at school, or parents of the other children at school. So
and you will hear stuff about your child from another child, and yet you're the parent.
And even, especially the teachers, they will tell you something about your child, and you're like,
that's
my
not
child?
true.
That's not true. And they'll be like, okay. So then the teacher will actually know the child fears you, or the child realizes you don't have time for them. So the teacher becomes their parent, and the teacher brings this to your attention, and you look shocked, and it confirms to the child that you actually the teacher that you actually don't have time for your own child.
And that's the thing with children, they really notice these small things. They know that if I go to Uncle Gundi, he will listen to me, but if I go to my mom, she'll either push me away.
There's also another problem. I think the other mistake that most of the parents that have interacted with are making, they think that their children, I don't know whether you call it comparison, like the way I see the way you're raising your kids is the way I think I should raise mine. I believe everyone has to do what works for them. Because the kids are not the same. So if I admire the way you raise your kids, I shouldn't enforce it on my kids, and we do that a lot.
Yeah, but then there's what they call overall discipline, because sometimes you'll have a friend who will come with their children in your house, and you can clearly see Banangi. That kid is on top of your tables. They are throwing this, and they are abusing, and you're like, Banang, and you just don't even know how to act like that.
You reminded me that I was reading something on one of the social media pages, and someone was complaining about kids who, they're eating everything in public transport and stepping on people.
Each child is unique. My children, all the 5 are so unique.
And
it is a challenge that I tend to start comparing not only with another person's child, but my own child. I say, you are doing this, why wouldn't you do? Somebody wakes up and she wakes up and she makes her bed. Why do you have to be told? And you tend to make this one look like you don't know what you're doing. Why don't you be? I have that as a problem, and it is something that as a parent, if you do not bring it to yourself to say, okay, I should stop comparing my children, they will create a lot of enmity among them.
Because they'll be like as if they're competing.
Yes, they're competing for attention.
Normally, also my children are very different, and what I normally do, I talk to them about their differences. For example, if my Naila comes complaining that Nadia has done something and she's crying, I'm like, but your sister, that's what she is. She's very emotional. She's going to cry about things. It doesn't mean that she doesn't love you. It's just who she is. So the sister also grows up knowing how sensitive her other sister is and how she handles things differently. I think the mistakes that we make, especially African parents, is to assume that our children don't understand.
Yeah.
And some of us want to see ourselves in our children. What I failed to do,
my child
it should. Adiva should do this. And then you
parenting-
get to a point where you start fighting with yourself through your child. You say, why wouldn't you do this? This is obvious.
This is how I used to
this
be."
is how I used to be. And
In
the
our
child,
days.
yeah. So
Oh my God,
my
in
son
our days,
actually,
just
my
give-
son tells me, "Mommy, tell me about how did you grow up?" And I'm like, I grew up in the village. It's like, but in the village, did you have this?
Exactly.
So you ask yourself, okay, I think I should stop thinking that their time is our time.
And then this issue of screaming, we do it a lot. I don't know why African
Oh my
parents
God.
just think
My mistake.
the only
My
time
mistake.
That
When?
one,
I shouldn't touch your and I'm like, you know, you can actually sit down and talk to these children and
My
they will
son-
Now
understand.
let me tell you the
that.
downside to that thing, because I think today's show is about me. Because let me tell you, sometimes I scare, like my daughter, she'll say, "Mommy, you've scared me," and I'm
Bambi.
caught off guard. In my head, I'm thinking maybe I spoke softly. Okay, I cannot speak softly most times.
But you can try.
I'm going to try. After the show, I'm going to try. But the thing is that screaming is very, very bad, because it impacts on the child. Because I find now my daughter, because of my screaming, sometimes she also screams at the brother unnecessarily. And I'm like, okay, this is me. This is my
Yeah.
problem. So I think it's something that we need to avoid.
It's
I have
something- it's
I have
something
that word that
yeah.
I keep saying. I'm going to say this once. If I say it
The
again,
second
ngendo
time.
kutula. And
And they wait for the
I
words.
had my son saying, "Penzi, I will kutula you."
And that's the thing, because our children keep on picking things. I've learned with time to have
Yes.
conversations with my children, because I used to be like that. But I know what it did to me for my father to do that.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Just because it worked for us, which it didn't, because we carry that with us
To
and we
our
bring
own
to our
children,
And you don't-
exactly.
Olaba omwana aveeri, Mariam gwe kenyini oyinza okuwogoka when you're
Yes.
talking to someone, and you don't realize that this is how you know how to talk, because that's how your parents spoke to you.
Yeah.
So no muntu omukulu ogenda kwogera naye, because this is
Exactly.
normal.
That is
And
how
it
you
starts
found
from
it.
when we are young. I think we have to do better.
Yeah.
My son, you know, I have my 9-year-old son who is teaching me how to. I call him work in progress for me, because he teaches me how to parent him.
Yes.
He says, "Mommy, you're shouting." I'm like, "But you're not hearing." But you're
Then you
still
don't have to shout.
shouting. Yes. So and sometimes he sits and just looks at you. So you get so angry, and you know, sapatu kompi, pa.
And you know,
But,
as because
It
people,
is so
men,
terrible.
and women, we're in this as a partnership. Maybe we take roles. There's a good cop, there's a bad cop. If you
Yes.
have a house where there's just a bad cop, then the children don't know where to run to. For me, they know that the one who makes noise is mommy.
Is mommy.
If they need soft landing, they go to
So
them.
true.
Can you believe what mommy has said? And then it comes to me, you know, you can't talk to the children. I'm like, that. I'm like, they're my children. He's like, yeah, they're also my children.
Yeah, but
so I don't
you know,
think,
actually,
you
let me
know,
tell
and
you-
he checks
And
you
I
out.
think-
You remind me of the time when I used to do homework. The homework is here and the sapatu is here. So one day the father told me, "But you know what? I think you are off this job. Enough,
You're not
Let
going to do
me
homework."
handle." And honestly speaking, I see my daughter. I was
Improved.
Yes, a lot. Without the sapatu, like there are better ways. So yes, good cop, bad cop.
Good cop, bad cop. That's if you're in a house where there's a father and mother.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have single parenthood where you just have a father, and they're really trying, but
To
they
be
have
the
do
both,
better.
and they have. One thing I noticed is just like you said. I wish I could get to the point where you are, of just having that discussion.
Me too.
I find it
I
so
couldn't.
Mentor
hard.
us.
I'm an challenging.
There's a time.
There's
There's a time my daughter had a girls' night out,
Okay.
which all her girls came to my house. And not all her friends, but I think there were around 6-7 girls. They spent a
sleepovers,
night
yes.
at my house. At that moment, I started speaking. I know these kids would open up and say so many things.
And then you saw.
And then one was saying, I have a cousin who is bigger than me. He bullies me, and you know my mom is not around.
Oh my God.
So I tend to feel so backwards, and I don't even want to. I don't even
Yeah,
want to go
kids
back
can
there.
actually,
They can-
Kids
They
open.
can
So
withdraw.
at
and
that
in
moment,
withdrawing, it's very dangerous.
At that moment when I spoke to them about being a lady, knowing how to talk, knowing that bullying is going to happen in real life because every day
how
you're
to
bullied,
handle it.
but you need to know how to handle it. How do you handle it as a lady, showing them that how you're supposed to be clean, how you and I was telling myself, Judinga, you're talking to these girls.
nicely.
What
And
happened with yours?
And that's the thing, I got an opportunity to speak to girls of Nabisunsa girls.
Yes.
Yes,
This
I
was
saw
from
that.
senior 1
Oh,
and
yesterday there
senior
was a
6.
parent who was complimenting you somewhere.
For that.
Yes.
The complaints that your children have about you,
A
I
big
swear I was in shock.
Yeah, I remember.
I even told the teachers, please get out, because these kids were saying we can't open up, they are still here.
Yes.
So I had to send the teachers away. One child wrote to me a note. It's like, Lucky, I can't really concentrate in school. Mommy shouts at daddy, they fight all the time. So that stresses me and worries me.
that one is a bad
Another
thing for
common
all
mistake.
children.
Yes.
A big time.
And tell us
common
that
mistake.
Actually, I was broken.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was
Yeah, that's
heartbreaking. As I was like, I wish, because
Big
they were not
time, by
writing
the
their
way.
names, and I was trying to look around to see who gave me this,
You
so that I
cannot.
can talk to them.
Let us not forget the language that we use in front of our kids, because kids pick up the language.
lot.
So as we speak, even in normal conversations, how what words are you using in front of the children?
Like
Because
there
you
are
cannot-
words you never
Sometimes
hear.
they slip up.
Yeah.
Me, they can't sleep in front, because you don't normally use the language, so it will be.
It's
but
very
yeah.
hard. But if you keep using it, then it becomes. You cannot tell a child, don't say silly, don't say stupid,
And yet you're
then
using
you're
it.
using the same
Exactly.
words. So you'll not. The actions that we do, like you said, when we fight, we think we are fighting just the two of us, my husband and I, and forgetting that these children are seeing their brain is getting tainted, and they have
their
a
ears are
lot
sharp
of
too.
pain
We are going to
emotionally.
have to do a part 2. I know that children are back. So we have
yeah.
to leave it here. But parents also, let's not forget to tell our children how much we love them.
Yes.
Love your child.
Boys,
Take
girls,
your
just
time.
to say the word
Pablo,
I
Mama,
love
I
you
should get
to a
where
child.
Lucky is.
Me, I love you is a
I love you.
No,
It's a must.
I love you is okay, but that area of
Conversation.
discussing other than just saying
Muna, you'll be amazed. They will come to you with anything if you speak to them. But when it comes to the part where I need to kuhutula, I also do that.
Yes.
Because there's going to be a
Yes.
place.
There's
No,
But it's
for
not
me,
every day.
interestingly, that
About
when
that.
I come home, it's like I swerve in all these beehives of kids. Mommy this, mommy that. So I feel like, should I complain? Then I remember, you shouldn't complain. You've been away, so you just keep quiet and let them. Everyone has their needs that are so different.
Which should be attended to
Yes.
as a parent. That's why you chose to have 5 children. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much for being with us. Akachai katuwam. Chai ngate
Mine
mukuteko.
is even finished. I was drinking all along.
I didn't see you.
Hey.